Okay, so students, uh, we were speaking about the, this is clear, no? Clear and visible, no, all of you? Okay, hope it's clear and visible. Yeah, okay. So I was talking about the anti-monotone property. So you're basically your a priori principle, what it shows us what is the condition is if an item set is frequent, then all the subsets should also be frequent. Or the other way around, if an item set is infrequent, then its superset should also be infrequent. And then if it is infrequent, what we do? We are going to just prune off that particular tree. Okay. Okay. Now, based on that, this is a problem which is there. I will just explain this problem to you. Tomorrow we will do this problem. Okay. Now here I am going to find out which are the frequent item sets. All right. So here we have this set of transactions. I have, you can see over here the same set of transactions, but a slight modification. You can just make a note of this, all of you. Please write this table, transactions and the items quickly. Transaction 1, you have bread, milk, and diaper. Transaction 2, you have bread, diaper, beer, and eggs. Transaction 3, we have milk, diaper, beer, and coke. 4, we have bread, milk, diaper, and beer. And 5, we have bread, milk, diaper, and coke. Okay. Are you done with it? Finished writing?
Sir.
Only write this. I will explain to you what the problem is and then you can take down. Have you finished? No, sequence is not important, but normally what happens is when they give you a problem, they will give it in this manner. So you should know, like if in case I change the if I change the sequence, I put say this milk, diaper, beer, coke last and this on top. It won't make much of a difference. You can change the sequence, but follow when the examiner, when they give you the problem, no, follow the same sequence because examiners won't have time to check whether it is interchange or not. Unless we will get into problem. So try and follow the same sequence. Okay. Since we are only focusing on the count, your sequence will not make much of a difference. It will not make a difference at all. Okay. So the first step in this is you have to find out what are the candidate one item sets. Now I told you again, there is a difference between candidate items and frequent items. Okay. My first step is finding what are the one item sets. One item sets means how many items we have here. We have bread, milk, diaper, all these are individual items. So you list all the items over here and then you find out each item, how many times, how many transactions it's going to appear. So bread is appearing in transaction 1, in transaction 2, transaction 4, transaction 5. So 4 times it is appearing. Write the count as 4 for bread. See, I have given a support. You can see in the problem, I've given mention support is equal to 3. That means in my final output, I should only consider those transactions which have a support of greater than of 3 or greater than 3. So less than 3 will be discarded. Okay. So that is why we first start with listing all the one item sets. So I am taking all, that is what is called as candidate one item sets. So I have listed all the items. Now you see the last one, eggs. Eggs is appearing only in transaction 2. That is why the count is equal to 1. If I take beer, beer is appearing in transaction 4, in transaction 3, in transaction 2. 3 times it's appearing. So I have taken the count as 3. Okay. So this is my candidate item set. Now from the candidate item set, you have to generate the frequent one item set. What is the frequent one item set? All those transactions which satisfy the support number, they become my frequent item sets. For example, Coke has a count of 2, but what is the support I have told here? 3. So it is not satisfying, then I have to eliminate this Coke from the list. Same way, eggs has a count of 1, but the support what I have given is 3. So I have to eliminate eggs from this list. Okay. So Coke and eggs will get removed. We will get another table which contains item and count. And in that table, what we will have? We will have only bread, milk, beer, and diaper. So that becomes my frequent one item. Okay. So I hope you've understood the difference between candidate one item set and frequent one item set. Candidate one item set, I will list all the items which are there in my transactions. I will get the count of all the items. Now, then from that count, I will remove the items which do not satisfy the particular support. So here, wherever the support is less than 3, I'm going to eliminate. That is what I have highlighted in yellow color. So once I remove this, then I will get a list another item, another table. So that becomes my frequent one item set. Okay, is that clear? Everyone, difference between candidate and frequent item set? Okay, fine. So next what we will do, I will take the frequent item set, frequent one item set, and I will generate my next table. So I have my frequent one item set. From the frequent one item set, I will generate my candidate two item set. Okay. So what were the combinations I had? I have bread, milk, beer, and diaper. Generate two combinations. Bread with milk, bread with beer, bread with diaper. Then milk with beer. Sorry, 1 minute. Something happened. Yeah. Okay. Now bread with milk, bread with beer, bread with diaper. So you can see here, bread, milk, bread, beer, bread, diaper. Okay, then go back. Milk, beer, milk, diaper. Milk, beer, milk, diaper. Then any other combination? Beer, diaper. Beer, diaper. Okay, so these become my, see I have, these are the frequent one items. What are the frequent one items? Bread, beer, diaper, milk. From the frequent one items, I'm generating the candidate two items. So here, this is the combinations I've done. You can see from here, bread with beer, bread with diaper, bread with milk. Okay. Then beer with diaper, beer with milk, and then diaper and milk. Okay. After I do this, you have to again check the count now. Count with which table? Your original table, this table, what is given to you. We check bread and milk appears in how many combinations? Bread and milk appears here 1, then milk and bread here 2, and here 3. 3 times that appears in the entire list. So you write the count as 3. Then you check for bread and beer. Bread and beer in this one, then bread and beer in this 2. 2 times it appears. So you write the count as 2. So that way you generate all the candidate 2 item set. Okay. After I generate the candidate 2 item set, next you have to see which are the items which satisfy the support of 3. So how many of them do not satisfy? All those highlighted in yellow do not satisfy the support of 3. So what I will do, I will eliminate these 2, and in turn I will get another table where you are going to show which is the frequent 2 items. See, I have not drawn that. Please draw that. Okay. For every table you must show what is the candidate 2 item set and the frequent 2 item set. Same way, what is the candidate 1 item set and the frequent 1 item set. Okay, both should be shown. So I will eliminate these 2, and the table which I get in turn becomes my frequent 2 item set. Okay. Then from my frequent 2 item set, I will generate my 3 item set. So what are the items now we get in 2 item set? We will get bread, milk, diaper, and beer. 4 things we will get. Correct, no? Bread, milk, diaper, and beer. So from that you generate now 3 item set. Bread, milk, diaper, all the combinations I have put over here. Again, the same process we have to repeat now. You have to go back to your table, original table, and check how many times these three will appear together. Bread, milk, and diaper. Bread, milk, and diaper appears in transaction 5, in transaction 4, and in transaction 1. So the count will be 3. Okay. Then bread, beer, and milk. How many times it appears? Go back to your table. Bread, beer, and milk. Where does it appear? Bread, milk, beer. Yeah, it appears in transaction 4. So once it's occurring, so I'll give the count as 1. Okay. So for all this, you give again, you calculate the count. And after you calculate the count, you check which of them are those which satisfy the support of 3. So only one I get, bread, milk, diaper, which having a support of 3. So that becomes my final frequent item set, bread, milk, and diaper. Okay. Now, since there are only 3, there is no fourth parameter. This is my final frequent item set. I cannot go further on this. Okay. So this is how we calculate the frequent item sets using your a priori principle. Is this concept clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it clear, students? Okay, fine then. Good. Okay. So that is enough for today. Tomorrow I will do the more problems on this I will solve. Now I'll just share this